What is up? What is up? Hello and welcome to another edition of Quarantine Cooking with Mr. Pink Shirt Guy. Oh God, it's Wednesday. It's such a good day. Hello, Robert, Kathleen Falls, Mac T. Knife, and Francesca Maria. So good to see all you guys here. It's a good day. I'm really excited about today. We're done with all of the, what are we done with? We're done with all the Cinco de Mayo stuff. We're done with all the Mexican food, as much as I love it. I do love it. But 2 days in a row, that's enough for me. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. We're doing some different things tonight. I mean, not really that different, but you know, it's just different than the last couple of days. So it feels so different. Right, Cochran von Steam? Oh, and Andrew T. Weller. You do need a cool knife name, yes. Oh, everybody needs a cool knife name. It's so good. All right, we have lots going on tonight. This is gonna be a very fun meal. I'm very excited about this because, listen, there's lots of bad stuff going on in the world right now. US, we just talked about this. Well, the news was just talking about all the meat plants closing. I'm getting daily texts from my mom, DTL, saying, see, I was right. All the meat plants are closing. What's America gonna do without our frozen chicken tenders? If it's not breaded and fried and we can microwave it in the mornings, how are we gonna feed our kids? I don't know. I don't know. I do know this. I'm here to help. We're gonna offer salmon today. That's why we're going seafood. We're going from, we're just saying no to turf and saying yes to surf. That would have been sweet had I nailed that line. We're saying no to turf and yes to surf today.
I feel like you should have practiced that.
I really should have practiced that one. That just came to me in my head. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really good if I say no to turf and yes to surf. And then it spilled out and it went bombo. It just didn't land. That's okay though. Look,
that was embarrassing for you.
That was embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you watching me. That must feel terrible. So, but yeah, we're here. We're meat free today. We're doing seafood, which, you know, I know some people call themselves pescatarian. That seems like a weird name to me. Just say you eat fish, you know? Just call it like it is. Anyway, all right, we're doing fish today. Let's get a cocktail going first. But even before that, we need some tunes. Hold on, wait. All right, here we go. So we're doing Manhattans today. It has nothing to do with seafood, nothing to do with, well, let's take myself off the close-up. Bam, there we go. This is, that's kind of why I wanted to hide the wide angle view, is because there's lots going on here. I'll introduce you to all of our key players here in just a moment. Let me just make things a little bit bigger so I can see what's going on. There we go, okay. Oh, that's even, oh, I didn't realize I had that view. Okay, we're all good. So over here is our little sous vide water bath setup. This is an immersion circulator. It just heats up the water to a very specific temperature and it maintains that temperature. All that means, oh, you know, I forgot to hit record on this thing because we're gonna be doing the same thing as before. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna hit record on the back of the camera because I do want to be able to record this locally so I can edit it. Patience, hold on, I'll be right back.
I almost told you that. I was wondering why I didn't show you.
Okay, all better. All right, if anything goes glitchy or if like the audio starts wonking out, just at me and let me know. I should see a big red thing pop up on the screen and then I'm like, what's going on over there? Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, so we're doing Manhattans today. It has nothing to do with seafood. It's just one of my favorite cocktails and I had one a few minutes ago and I need to make another one. This is a very easy cocktail to make if you haven't already. I know we've already done it on this show, but for those people who haven't seen it, it's a first for you. So, oh, I was introducing the players. This is our sous vide water bath. This is how we're going to be cooking our salmon today. It swims in the water, it should cook in the water. you know, with a plastic bag protecting it, of course. I love this technique because it's so easy. It's pretty much foolproof. Like you can't really screw this up. It's hard. And the results are super tender, super smooth salmon coming out of this. I absolutely love it. So that's why we're doing it again today. Actually, I don't think we've done that. We have cooked sous vide, but we haven't done salmon sous vide before, right? Yeah, no, we haven't. Okay, all right. Let's get mixing. I already have my glass is chilling. It's very important. There we go. All right, making some room. So I'm gonna be making 2 of these at once. 6 dashes of Angostura bitters. I love one of the reasons I want to do Manhattans today is because it's a dreary day in Manhattan. I've got this lovely view of looking uptown in the city and of Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal right behind me, or right behind the camera there. It's so good. She's the best part. And it's just cloudy. It was raining earlier, and I love every second of it, every drop. So that's why we're doing Manhattans, mostly just because I'm kind of in the mood. And like Manhattans aren't a sit on the patio in the sun kind of a cocktail. They're like they're a late night sipper. I mean, it's obviously not a late night right now, but you know, you can't chug a Manhattan. It's just a little bit at a time. It's so good. It's actually like the way I think people should experience New York City. It's very hard to get a good feel of this town in a weekend. You know, that's like shooting a Manhattan. That's not fun. It's too strong. It's astringent. It's bitter. It's you know, you have too many trips to Times Square. It's not very fun. But just relax a little bit. You know, walk around, maybe sip a little bit, kind of calm down, let the city reveal itself to you. And I think it's quite nice. And that's, I don't know, that's why I love Manhattans and why I love the city. I gotta, I don't know if she's on tonight. My mother texted me earlier and said, hey, have you thought about, you know, leaving the city to escape to a place that's less affected by COVID and all that stuff? And I understand the sentiment. Like she obviously wants the best for me and my family. But the answer is yeah. Like I have, and we've even talked about it, and the answer is always a resounding no. Like there's no place I'd rather be right now than right here. And I know that our circumstance is slightly different. Like this is a decent apartment. It's easy to live here, but we get everything delivered. But that's also part of the reason, you know, why I wouldn't want to leave. I don't want to have to go to the store all the time. So anyway, Mom, I didn't text you back, but now I'm answering you directly. So that's why. Yeah. When it comes to stirring cocktails, I always recommend just over stir. Stir more than you think you should, because chances are you're not stirring enough. And I think a little bit of dilution is just the right thing. Plus it'll chill the drink down. It's obviously, we're not like watering down the drink. We are technically, but not that much. Just kind of enough to make it like sippable and enjoyable and very cold. Although Woodford room temp is actually quite good, I think. Oh, Kristen, you used the chicken sous vide from the blog, and it was delicious. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm so glad. That brings joy to my heart that it worked for you and that you liked it. Now, were you cooking a lot of sous vide before, or was this new? Not that it matters. I'm just kind of curious if this was kind of like a first foray into sous vide cooking or not. I made a little bit of a mess here, so let's clean this up. I mean, I'm a huge proponent of cooking this way. I mean, not like, look, there's some ways that this will never replace, but for like slow cooking, like any sort of braise things, sous vide is great for that. Steaks, like you never overcook meat ever again. Well, I guess we won't have meat, you know, coming up soon. But anyway, it's super easy and I love it. What do we got, Ravik? You said you got some plastic fruit shaped ice cube thingies filled with water that you can freeze and use them to cool down a drink without having to water it down. Yes, that's true. Good point. Well, that's for Mrs. Pinkshirtguy.
Thank you.
So yeah, like, you know, if it comes to like making like a rocks drink or something, you don't want all that ice to turn into, you know, the drink or to melt into the drink. But I think a little bit for stirring a cocktail that's served up like this, super important. I think because it makes it like it makes just a tastier, more palatable cocktail. Anyway, I think. But don't take my word for it. A lot of people just keep their stuff in the freezer, and that's, you know, for certain things you may not want much dilution. Okay. Kristen, it was your very first. I'm so glad it turned out. I'm so happy.
What she made?
She made. Mrs. Pinkshirtguy is asking what Kristen made, and she made the chicken sous vide recipe, like as a first sous vide foray.
Nice.
Yeah. You can also put like whatever sauces you want on it, like if you've got leftover pesto or, you know, like a Jamaican jerk rub or something like that. Just you can throw it in the bag when you cook it, and it kind of marinates it and flavors it as well. So that's like, you know, maybe next time if you didn't already. But sometimes I love just the flavor of the bird, a little salt. Oh, so good. Okay, let's get going here. So this is going to be kind of a complicated, not really complicated, there are just several steps. The dish that we're making is a sous vide salmon, as I mentioned, I don't know, at least 1,000 times. And then we're going to serve a lime cilantro beurre blanc on top of that, which is just French for butter. And tasty butter, though, I should say. There's a lot packed into beurre blanc. And two of the flavors are lime and cilantro. And then on the side, for like a starch-ish thing, we're doing farro. And I've never cooked farro before. So we'll find out how it tastes. Francesca, Maria. I do occasionally get called Mr. Lane, like at book signings and stuff for Mrs. Lane or Ms. Lane. I don't know which one she prefers. Yeah, occasionally. And she calls me that, like, you know, in her world. So she's Mrs. Pinkshirtguy in my world, and I'm Mr. Lane in her world, if that makes sense. If anybody is interested in reading her books, there's a link in the description to this video. It's the What to Read While You're Under Quarantine. She's only published, I think, 37 books. And 36. Boy, sorry. Whew. Sorry about that. Love her. Okay. So yeah, beurre blanc. Okay, let's get cooking. So I might be referencing the computer a little bit more since it was a little bit tougher to write it out individually. So just bear with me while we do this, all right? Just back off. Okay, so let's get the salmon going first. And we're actually going to cure it with a little bit of salt and sugar first.
Why sugar?
Why sugar? Asked Mrs. Lane. And that is a great question. You know, I actually don't know why we mix in salt and sugar. I think the sugar, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's just like all the recipes say when you do cures like these. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yes.
It's stumped in the first 10 minutes. Shit. Okay. Yeah, why do any of you internet-y enabled people know why we have why we do sugar in like cures like this? Like when you make gravlax, it's mostly salt, some sugar, and we're not doing that here. We're doing like a very attenuated version of that. Oops, why? No, okay, so anyway, yeah. All right, so let's weigh out our salt and sugar. We're doing a 4-to-1 salt to sugar ratio here, which basically this 10-minute cure will help season the fish a little bit. It'll help tighten up the texture just a little bit as well. Highly recommend. It's having like a 3PO moment there, like, oh, Master Luke, where are we going? Okay. And I'm gonna guess here. You can do this kind of by volume too. It doesn't matter that much. It's just as long as you're directionally correct with about 4-to-1 salt to sugar. So I'm gonna do 10, that's already 10 grams. So I'm gonna do 10 grams of sugar and then we'll do 40 of salt. If my math is right. Oh, that's gonna be a lot. We won't need this much. So I would actually recommend for this amount of fish, you don't need this much. That's okay, I'll save it for next time because I did this a couple of weeks ago and it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so Kristen says that Google says that sugar is used to reduce the harshness of the salt. So there we have it, straight from Google's mouth. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of toss this back and forth just to do like a basic mix. All right. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it. That's all we're doing. This is not super complicated stuff. And actually, because I'm super lazy, I'm not even gonna get the skin side. Let's just do flesh side up, call it good. Okay, so there we have it. Another person, we got Linguaphile confirming that the sugar is added to reduce the harshness of the salt and provides a slightly sweeter flavor. So there's only, I mean, there's only like a pinch of sugar in this, so it's not gonna be super sweet. It's actually, I don't know, I should have just done one and not the other just to test it out. But anyway, there we go. Alexa, can you set a 10-minute timer, please?
10 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. All right, so we'll save our sugar salt mixture for next time. All right. So I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna get, I'm gonna start prepping ingredients for our Blanc. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's right, I forgot about this. We're doing sauteed ramps as well. I finally found whole ramps and we're gonna do them together as well. So this is gonna be like, there's gonna be 3 different components to this dish today. It's gonna be super exciting. For me, because I get to eat it. Okay. So let's start prepping the salmon stuff. This is already set to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, actually 122.8 degrees Fahrenheit, just because I set it to 50.5 Celsius for some reason. You know what, let's just go for 122. I think that's what I did the other day. No, let's go for 50 Celsius, which is, that's 122. Okay, good, we're good. Prepping ingredients for our Beurre Blanc. I know I need lime juice. Shing! I'm very excited to test out this knife. I sharpened it using a whetstone this afternoon. It was my first try ever on a whetstone, and I enjoyed the process. It was very meditative. Yeah, highly recommend. I don't know how much, I mean, I want about 1/3 of a cup, and if we have leftover lime juice, that's okay, we'll have fun with it. So that seemed to cut pretty well, but you know, limes are easy, so. Back in your home for a minute. Shing. Let's get squeezing. All right, I have half of a lemon here. I'm gonna use that as well, just because I need to get it out of my fridge. Let's do that. Kristen's asking during normal times, how often do I sous vide food? Once a week, once a month?
At least once a week.
Oh, Mrs. Pinkshirtguy is answering that one. At least once a week. I probably do it, I don't know, maybe, oh, hello, mother. I love the hi, son, every time. I probably sous vide, I don't know, yeah, once or twice a week. I mean, during normal times, we probably ate out and ordered in more frequently than we do now. But it was probably like 1 out of every 3 or 4 times I cooked, I think. Yeah, it's just easy.
Yeah, we never really have steak or pork or chicken that's not sous vide. Unless
So-
we're roasting a whole chicken.
Yeah, Mrs. Pinkshirtguy is pointing out that we never really have steak or pork or chicken unless it is sous vide, unless I'm roasting an entire chicken. So most of the meat I prep, yeah, I guess is sous vide. I also just love, I think that's, maybe actually we'll be good. I needed a little over a third of a cup. I just love how I'll stop shilling sous vide cooking technique, but I think it's one of those things that, it's like one of those techniques that I think is ready for like mainstream adoption in middle America, you know, the places where you wouldn't expect people to adopt those kind of things, because it's just easy and it's relatively cheap, it's small. I think it's better than a slow cooker, like in my opinion, for me, because I'm, you know, space constrained. And all that flavor, just all that moisture stays in the meat. So you just get better. I think everything's a little bit better. Yes, Weller, love ramps. Me too. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm gonna put this away just to make some room. I'll be right back. Oh, how's that Manhattan?
Delicious.
I need to sit my Manhattan here. Oh, so Kristen, you're saying, so probably about as often as you guys grill. So that's a tough one because they are totally different, and grilling is arguably pretty easy to clean up, maybe even easier. I mean, that's one thing I can't do kind of at all. Like I have a lame version downstairs outside, but it's not really a grill, it's electric grill. So yeah, grilling is, yeah. I mean, if that's your go-to, stick to it. I think. I mean, there's some things you could and should do sous vide, like anything you do in a Dutch oven or slow cooker, like the braising stuff, you could substitute with sous vide, but that's about it. I mean, but other than that, grill. Or you could finish on the grill, like if you like steaks that are perfectly cooked all the way through, or pork, or anything that you want perfectly cooked, and then a nice sear on it. Do this and then grill. That would actually be the perfect balance. Okay, what are we doing here? I gotta get back to my instructions. I've only prepped one ingredient. Okay, let's slice some garlic. Okay. Shing, shing. So I've never really made a cilantro lime beurre blanc, so I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. It sounds like, theoretically, I think it sounds great. Because and again, the reason why I'm doing the cilantro and lime is to kind of continue that, the spirit of Cinco de Mayo. And also, I just think the flavors are great. So we'll see how it turns out. If you don't want to use, get off of me. If you don't want to use lime juice and cilantro, you could just go to any other flavors you want. So any other acid, like champagne vinegar, white wine vinegar, probably the standards for a beurre blanc, and then thyme, parsley, super common. If you have shallots, use them for this. I don't. For some reason, I'm totally out, and I don't want to cut up an entire giant onion. So I'm actually going to do garlic. I kind of feel like that would be closer to the Mexican-ish flavors, which I know we said we were getting away from, but I kind of want to try this beurre blanc. I'm excited. So that's what we're doing. But any kind of alliums would technically work. So like garlic, onions, shallot, ramps, spring onions, green onions. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna add some green onions to this. I'm glad I said that. I missing anything? That huge plastic. I know, Weller. This just arrived today. This huge plastic tub. So, yeah. Good point. It doesn't exactly say space constrained, but here's the deal: I can put things in it as well. So that's kind of fun. Like I can use it as storage. So I'm totally still counting it as space constrained. Almost there. Good. This is like the slowest part. Okay. Good. All right, let's just slice these guys up. These don't have to be pretty, so if they're, you know, I'm thinly slicing them because they're going to go into, they're going to flavor the Beurre Blanc. We're going to strain these out eventually, so, you know, you don't need to worry about making sure they're all exactly the same thickness, which I'm sure nobody's doing. But, you know, the super anal retentive chefs out there might want all their stuff cut the same way. I don't care. And we're straining it out. It doesn't need to look great. Oh, you haven't heard anyone describe a storage bin as fun, Linguophile? Well, you haven't met me. It's super fun. We can put things in it. I like the fact that it serves multiple purposes. It plays many roles. This is like a force multiplier in the kitchen because I can stick stuff in it. Great. I can I can sous vide stuff in it. I could fill it with like water and bench press it, which would be way too heavy for me, you know, from a workout perspective. So yeah, so many different things. All right. Let's see here. Let's get our cilantro ready. Get our Dexter bag of cilantro. Did anybody take my advice and give that SF Marks guy a follow? Alexa, stop. Okay, so our salmon is now ready to go in. So let's pause this. Let's get our salmon in. Cilantro, go away. All right. That. So I'm just using a regular plastic bag for this. We don't have to vacuum seal anything. I always recommend folding down the bag, like the zippy thing, so this doesn't catch on your meat. Plus, it makes it a little bit easier to fold it back in with like clean hands. That way, we just make sure nothing can, no fish stuff or no meat, no raw meat touches like the parts that we're going to be touching. So that's just why I do it. First things first, let's get some olive oil in there. Oh, Anthony, you haven't refilled your olive oil again. Okay, so I haven't opened this yet, so we're just gonna dig into it now. This is Greek stuff. Yeah, this is what quarantine did. We have to go Greek with our olive oil. Actually, the reviews on this were fantastic, so we'll see how it is. I do kind of want to taste it. That's giant. You know what? It'll be great for cooking. Like that's actually, oh, you know what? It's got a nice little burn to it. I mean, like in the way that I like. That's not bad.
Favorite origin for olive oil?
My favorite origin for olive oil. Yeah.
Country.
I don't know. So I don't know if I have I really like Southern Italian olive oils, but that's for finishing because those have such a such a grassy attack on the back of your throat. Like it just feels like, oh my God, this is a very strong vegetal flavor. Where is this coming from? And it's like it makes itself known in your face. You know what I mean? Like it's an incredible flavor. Love it. So yeah, Southern Italian. Northern Italian stuff is going to be much calmer, much more relaxed. You could say balanced, but it's just it's less intense. That's a good way to put it. So yeah, I think Italy in general is my favorite, but I don't know, the Colavita stuff that I usually use that I actually kind of like the flavor, that might be sourced from all over, you know, the Southern Europe and the Mediterranean area. So I'm actually not sure. So what I say might be different than what my taste preferences actually have. There we go. That's a great question though. I should look at that. Okay. So a little olive oil in the bag. Let's rinse off. Let me make sure nothing's broken here. We're gonna rinse off our salmon just to get rid of that salt and sugar. I'm gonna get the bag over here so that I don't drip stuff on my way over. And a little washy poop. All right. Oh man, that garlic smells so good. Okay. So, the only deal with this stuff with cooking sous vide is you just want to make sure that well, I got it all over my computer. That's fine. You just want to make sure that nothing is overlapped, so that when it sits in the water bath, that it's one uniform thickness and it's not like two fillets stacked on top of each other. Just because that'll affect your cooking times a little bit. It could. So this is good. This is exactly the way I want it. Oh, and this is it's farmed Icelandic Steelhead, which is, this stuff tastes so good, especially for farmed. And after doing a little bit of research, these guys actually farm steelhead salmon / trout on land. Like they have these ginormous vats that they put their fish in, and that's how they get them. So, and it's very good. It's actually relatively inexpensive, especially from on the East Coast. Getting steelhead is very difficult because that's normally West Coast, but this stuff tastes great. So anyway, it's farmed and I love it. When you put bags like this in here, just to make sure the water gets out of it, hold on, let's go to the wide view for a second. It's just easiest to drop it in before it's totally sealed. And then as it sinks to the bottom, it'll kind of squish the air out, and then you can go ahead and seal it up. Alexa, set a 40-minute timer.
40 minutes, starting now.
Love it. So, with salmon, with fish, it's about 40 minutes per inch. If you go a little over, a little under, it's probably not gonna make that big of a difference, but I don't wanna let it sit in there for a long time because salmon flesh is fairly, fish flesh in general is fairly delicate, and I don't wanna risk it breaking down. But like if that's a steak, you could probably leave it in there 2 hours just fine. You know, an hour is my default for a 1-inch thick steak, but I think that texture degrades much more slowly than fish would, I think, according to my research. Oh god, that cocktail's good. Let's get this Beurre Blanc going because I'm yakking way too much. Okay, so we need some cilantro.
Oh, shocking.
Excuse me, Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal, you said it's shocking that I'm yakking way too much? Oh. All right, that's probably enough. What? Anthony's a talker? I didn't even know. I'm gonna go ahead and restart this recording on the back. I have a 29-minute limit on what I can record, so bear with me just for a second. There we go. Okay, so let's get this in the dishwasher. Perfect. All right, so since this is going in our Beurre Blanc, I don't care if the stems go in there because the stems are actually going to be fairly flavorful as well. And we're just giving them a rough chop. I just want stuff to like lay down in the pan. Good. I'm super excited to see how this turns out. You know what? Goes in with the garlic. So let's just stack it all up in here. Am I missing anything? Good, bad, or otherwise? Nope, good, okay. Okay, good. Next, let's put this guy back to rest. Oh no, don't get in there. This poor guy is like a Dexter victim, except every single day. He gets like a breath of fresh air. He's like, quick, call the authorities, and then we smother him again. So I don't know where your rubber band went, so good luck. Okay. What else? Let's move that there. Okay, peppercorns, dry white wine, lime juice. Let's just put everything in the pan now, since we can. All right, let's do that. Don't fall. All right, I'm using a small saucepan for this because it's just gonna be a little bit easier to whisk in all the butter that we're gonna put in there. Let's get our garlic and cilantro in there. Good. And then I need some pepper. Oh, it's already out. Isn't that great? You can just use whole peppercorns for this. I'm just gonna do kind of a big pinch. It's probably like, I don't know, 8 peppercorns. Just kind of use your best judgment. What else are we doing? Oh, some dry white wine. I got that. Always have that. Oh, I gotta switch it back to the top down. Boy, oh boy, Anthony. It's gonna be disastrous. There we go. It's a little dark, right? Is that better? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so we're gonna add about, I think about 150 mils of wine. So like 2/3 of a cup. There we go. Oh, so close to almost finishing this off.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
I could just dump it.
I could just dump it, yeah. I probably should have. And then so usually it's like 2/3 wine, 1/3 vinegar. So that's kind of what we're doing here. I'm gonna do a hearty 50 mils of this. And actually maybe a little bit more because it's weaker than vinegar would be. So we'll try that. Okay, so that's gonna come to a boil. What else do I need here, Anthony? Lime juice, yeah, good. Let's simmer that down. We'll get our cream ready, done, butter. Oh, yeah, and then we have to, let's measure out our side dish. So let's measure out our ingredients for our farro. I've actually never cooked farro before, but I'm very excited to try it. I have eaten it before, love it, it's great. Yeah, we'll give it a shot, we'll see what happens. I do need to weigh things out. Okay, so, where's our farro? Oh, I was gonna put green onions in there. Let's do that first, before I forget.
Or rather, after we forgot.
Hey, Peanut Gallery, nobody needs those comments. I said before I forget, and she corrected and said, or rather after we forgot. Nobody asked you. All right, that should be enough. All right. Again, same thing with these. I don't really care how they look. I'm just gonna cut. Oh yeah, there is background music. Let me know if it's too loud. I just wanted a tiny little bit so that when I stop talking, there's like a little bit in there. But let me know volume level, if it should go up or down. I'm just I can't hear it, So yeah, you tell me. But yeah, there is music playing. It's like some stock background music that I found on Envato Elements. Yeah, so what was I gonna say? Normally this dish for Beurre Blanc would have shallot, and I was too lazy to cut up a giant onion, so instead I'm just gonna do green onion, which I think will be, I don't know, we'll try it. Oh, don't go all the way underneath, little friend. Where are my tweezers? Yes, let's rescue you. You get to go straight in, okay. I'm just gonna use all the oh, more fell off already? All right, well, I'll just wait till, we'll see if more of them fall off. I don't know if I've used, I guess I have used green onions in like marinades before, and they do usually impart a flavor. I'm curious to see how much flavor they impart in this. You know, because like shallots and stuff and onions, you always taste those, but I'm losing a lot of these little guys. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they taste like in this. Let's get these fallen soldiers here. Let's rescue them. You, and you. Good. I will say that already smells awesome. Everything is awesome. All right, let's do that. James Crane, Garner Fresh. I don't know what that means. Oh, Gamer Fresh. I don't know what that means either. All right. So far, well, we haven't cut anything really strong yet, but I think I did an okay job sharpening my knife with the whetstone set. I mean, if I do say so myself. It was a first for me. I found it very meditative. I loved the entire process. It was way easier than I thought. It was very nice. And I got it off of Amazon for way cheaper than I thought I was gonna pay on Sur La Table. I don't know if I'm missing out on quality, but it seemed to have worked. So I don't know.
That sauce smells good.
I know, doesn't it? Oh my God. So here's the deal too. Here's the deal. Normally, like Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal notices and doesn't love when things are super acidic, like when I use too much vinegar or something like that. She notices it much more than I do. So I'm
delicate.
She's very delicate like that. Quit chugging your Manhattan. Yeah, she's delicate like that. But I'm kind of excited to see how the lime juice plays in there, where I'm using less of it, well, about the same amount of lime juice, but it's less acidic in general. So we'll see. We'll see, but it smells awesome. All we have is cilantro, green onion, garlic, and lime juice. Oh, and some Chardonnay. Probably could have used, does Mexico produce much wine? I don't know any Mexican wine. Where's Wine Travel? Where's Patty? We need her expert opinion here. No, all right, we don't have her on. Okay, so got that. Let's now, I think we're done. I'll prep our butter. Oh, and our stock. Okay, that I can get. We'll wait till this reduces down. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. That's a new catchphrase other than let's get cooking. For Beurre Blanc, we basically just want to cook the wine and acid all the way out, almost, until it's very syrupy, like just a couple of tablespoons. And then we'll add in a little bit of cream, bring it up to a simmer, and then start whisking in our butter to create a nice, stable emulsion. So that's really what we're doing. But let's get measuring everything else, just so we can kind of keep all these moving parts safe. Safe, they're fine. Farro, measure. Anthony, get on this. I'm gonna do about 75 grams. I'm gonna do exactly 75 grams. I don't know if that's, I feel like that's directionally appropriate for two people as like a side dish. I don't know, so we're gonna find out. We may need all these extra calories if all of our meat plants are closing down. gonna put this away. And we're back. That's good. So this would also, the Farro should call for shallots. I don't have it. That's okay. Put this back in his sheath for a moment. Shing. He will need washing, but let's get our Farro going. Did I set a timer for the fish? Alexa, do I have any timers going on right now? Alexa, do I have any timers going on right now?
I don't have an opinion on that.
She doesn't have an opinion on the timers. Well, does anyone know if we set a 40-minute timer? Alexa, do I have a timer?
You have 27 minutes left on your 40-minute timer.
Okay, I've got 27 minutes left on my 40-minute timer. Just enough time to cook some Farro. So, I'm going to be pressure cooking Farro. You don't have to. You can cook it the traditional way. It just takes probably 15 minutes longer. So I'm just kind of cutting it in half ish by using a pressure cooker. And I think you can see most of that. I'll explain what I'm doing in case the top-down camera doesn't catch all of the goodness that's happening in here. But usually the gist for when you cook risotto, Farro, quinoa, any of these types of like seeds and grains that end up like this is you usually add a little bit of oil. You start sweating some sort of aromatic flavor like onion, shallot, little garlic, something like that. You sweat that. You add whatever grain you're cooking, so like quinoa, Farro, risotto, whatever, and you kind of toast it. So it's you sweat some alliums, you toast whatever you're cooking, and then you deglaze quickly with some wine, and then add stock, and then pressure cook or simmer. That's it. So for this one, we're just gonna be pressure cooking. That's what we're gonna do. Oh, I need more oil, Anthony. I put it away. No. All right, because I don't want to go grab like all of that that giant thing of oil. Gesundheit, Mrs. Pinkshirtguy.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna use vegetable oil. Okay, good. Mexican champagne is just tequila, Craig Henderson. Nice, yes. Oh, thank you guys for confirming that I set a timer. I just now saw that. I need to pull that back up. There we go. So we'll do that there, that here. I don't need to see my monitor. Perfect. So got this over medium, medium high, or medium. I'm just getting a little bit of oil. A couple of tablespoons. Like I just want enough so that stuff toasts a little bit. I don't have any alliums to toast, so why don't I do... You know what? We're gonna forgo that part. We're just gonna throw in the Farro. All right, so just pretend that I've already thrown in onions or shallot. Cool? Cool. Do what I say, not as I do. All right. This smells incredible. I just have to say this again. Oh. Beurre Blanc is gonna be, oh my God. I feel like this is going to turn out exactly as I hoped. Kind of like a Mexican inspired Beurre Blanc. All right. Good. Muted myself there, don't do that. Okay, we'll just go ahead and shrink that. Oh, yeah, Francesca, thanks. You saw me put in shallots. Because I did. I put in shallots, obviously. Nothing gets by you. A pressure cooker is one of my favorite go-to like kitchen items that I don't think most people have, which is unfortunate because it's nice to use. Like it saves a bunch of time for stuff like this. Plus, if you have tough cuts of meat like pork shoulder, actually that's a great example, pork shoulder or any sort of like a tri-tip, like even a brisket. If you don't want to sous vide, what is this called? Pressure cooker is a great alternative. It takes a lot less time because of the higher temperature. You get much more, it melts down a lot of the it's cartilage into collagen, or collagen into gelatin. I can't remember. It takes all the connective tissue, renders that stuff out, and like it makes it just more of a softer textured meat. It's so good. Shut up, Anthony. Just started cooking some farro. Okay, so it's gonna start popping. That's great. Just a little bit. We want it to kind of get a little bit toasty, a little bit nutty smelling. As you can see, there's tons of shallots already in there, so don't worry about that. Collagen into gelatin. Okay, thank you, Bill. Yes. Is that what I said? Was I close? Can I claim that I knew it? That's the only thing I care about. Was I right? Oh, and I will weigh out my stock. This is gonna get a little bit tight here. So if you don't have stock, that's fine. Use water. Like, it doesn't matter that much. It does, but in quarantine cooking, use whatever you got. I'm gonna use, this is leftover whey from making ricotta. And it's got like this nice little, like bite to it. There's a little bit of residual acid from making ricotta, but like the flavor, it's just, oh yeah, it almost tastes a little bit cheesy too. All right, so how much am I doing here? I need about 100 grams of that. That's 110, that's close enough. So we're gonna deglaze with some wine and then put this in. And usually I've never cooked farro before, but I'm guessing based on a recipe I looked at, that it's about 2-to-1 liquid to water. I'm sorry, liquid to farro. So that's what we're gonna go with. Fair enough, linguophile. I can always safely assume no to the answering the question of was I right. I said tri-tip, and now I'm gonna have to smoke one this weekend. I'm starving. Kristen, oh my God, smoked tri-tip, that sounds incredible. Okay, so this is smelling nice and toasted. I'm gonna add a nice glug of some dry white wine. It happens to be the same. Perfect. So I'm just deglazing all those shallots in there, and oh, it smells delightfully nutty. I love that. This helps add a little bit of flavor into the actual farro itself. It already has some. It comes with flavor. It's nice. Oh, this is getting nice and syrupy. I think we're almost ready. I'm going to turn this down to low just to kind of slow down while I get this guy going.
Hey, pink shirt guy?
Yes, Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal.
Pink wine open.
No, but I can open some for you.
We have any pink wine cold.
I'm pretty sure we have some pink wine cold. Let me make sure we have some pink wine cold for Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal. We do. Would you like some, or were you just inquiring?
Yeah, you can have it.
Okay.
You can open it, or you get stuff to watch?
I have stuff to watch, but I'm okay. I'm multi-talented, as you know. She's nodding yes, emphatically. All right. So I'm just gonna reduce this down. Normally I'd be scraping up any sort of fond or brown bits that are in there, just in case I maybe sauteed my shallots a little too hot. Only one time I may have done that. And then we'll add our whey in place of our stock. And then we'll go ahead and seal this guy up and pressure cook for about 15 minutes. There you are. Okay. Were you waving to me or them?
You.
Oh, good. To me? Oh, nice.
That's all you get.
That's all I get.
Wait.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty well reduced. Pretty much reduced. Almost. Pretty goodly reduced. Okay, we're adding in our whey. That's good. You know what, just in case, because on the back of the Farro it says it's basically 3-to-1 by volume. I'm just gonna add another little splash to kind of split the difference, just in case I'm wrong. Which, as we know, has never happened, but on the off chance I might be wrong on this one. Okay, that's in. So we won't start the timer until it reaches, oh good, the lighting makes the steam look like flames. Yeah, no, it's definitely not flames. Where's the fire extinguisher? So we'll just bring that up, and then we'll pressure cook that. So next, let's go back to our Beurre Blanc here. And yes, Kristen, these recipes will be up. I'm gonna take this weekend to get a nice catch up in, just to make sure I catch up on all these recipes, get them all on the website, so that you don't have to watch these dumb videos. You can just shortcut the entire thing and just pick it up on the website. Okay, let's add a little bit of heavy cream. What's up?
Found always shut in the closet.
Locked in?
Yeah.
Our dog is locked in the closet.
Oh, I don't think you noticed.
She didn't even notice though, because she was sleeping. She does like to sleep in there normally, but she got locked in there. That's all right. So about a quarter cup. That's about a quarter cup. This is a sweet little quirk of my pressure cooker that whenever it comes up, there we go. Yes, catch up with all recipes, Ravik. I figured someone was going to catch on to that. All right, let's get our... I know, you didn't even have to remind me, Kristen. Yeah, it's perfect. All right, what else are we making here? Let's get this Beurre Blanc finished, shall we? And then I'll have to saute the ramps. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
You have 15 minutes left on your 40-minute timer.
15 minutes. Okay, perfect. That should actually be just the right amount of time. I'm gonna leave my butter chilled. It's more of a reminder to myself than anything else. All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna bring this cream up to a simmer here. Well, oh, I gotta get the ramps ready to saute. That's gonna be... That'll be a last minute. That'll be à la minute. I'll wrap that up. I just want to get this out of the way so I can use a cutting board. Let me think here, because I didn't think this entire thing through beforehand. The ramps were like a last minute addition as well. I realized I had them, and Lauren's like, why don't you saute them? And I'm like, brilliant.
You don't have to let him.
I don't have to, you're right.
If they don't fit with the plan.
Well, they could fit with the plan.
We could also have it with eggs tomorrow.
We could have them with eggs tomorrow, and I could just record it, and then maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just show you what ramps look like to just simplify this a little tiny bit, and then we'll cook them together some other time. Just so I don't go totally insane trying to. All right, 15-minute timer. All right, for our Farro, I just set a 15-minute timer. Mother, you have conquered. Oh, the Medicare calls. Good, I'm glad you conquered that. It is time for a real cocktail. Pour yourself whatever you like. On me. Okay, so let's get I wonder if I should whisk or strain this stuff out. I almost kind of want to see if I can pull more flavor out into the butter and then strain it out at the last minute. Or do you think I should strain it out now? These are big questions. I'm gonna go ahead and just whisk the butter in and then we'll strain it afterwards. Sound good? Good. So here's the deal with Beurre Blanc. You just want to whisk in the butter a little bit at a time because you want to keep that emulsion stable. That's the most important part. If it breaks, then you get like a little bit of fat weeping out and stuff, and it doesn't look as pretty. So that's what we're going to do. Now, normally, if I had my druthers, I would just cube this up beforehand, keep it chilled, and then whisk that in one time. I'm not gonna do that because I was too lazy. So instead, I'm just gonna shave off a little bit and pour it in and stir it. And you'll be able to tell, like that it's, whether it's emulsified or not. I think the last time I did this, I actually strained it beforehand, which, now that I think about it, might have been a smarter move, but that's all right. We're just gonna try it out. It was a Thomas Keller recipe the last time I made it, and everything he does is strained. He'll strain anything he can possibly find. It's over low heat, by the way, in case anybody's curious. That is part of the deal. You don't want to cook this too hot, or else I think it does increase the likelihood that it'll separate. Oh man, this smells so good. I cannot wait to try this. I hope you can hear my dog running around in the background, playing with Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal. Good.
I shouldn't do that word.
What?
G-O-D.
Oh, really?
Right.
My fingers are so crossed that this Beurre Blanc turns out. I hope it does. I really want like a lime cilantro Beurre Blanc. Even though I know that there are people out there who can't taste cilantro, or rather they can, but it tastes like soap or something. Like, isn't Ina Garten one of them? She doesn't like cilantro? Okay, I'm gonna restart the timer again, or the camera. I'll be right back. There we go. Nailed it. Let's crank you up. He's dropping down. I want to keep him at the 2-bar level. I don't know if you can see it, but I want to keep it at high pressure and temperature. It just drastically speeds up the amount of time we have to sit waiting for this bar to finish up. And again, you don't have to use a pressure cooker. You could just cook farro the old-fashioned way, according to the back of the package directions, which I think just says simmer it for like 30 minutes. So if you've got time, just do that. But I would recommend the other two parts of sweating some alliums or some aromatics in there, and then like adding in toasting whatever you're cooking, toasting the farro, adding in some wine to kind of deglaze a little bit, and then adding your cooking liquid. So usually like a stock, you can use water in a pinch. It doesn't, I mean, it matters, but not that much. It's not gonna be bad if you just use water. Almost there. Singing to myself because we're in quarantine. All right, now we're getting too high. I'll lower the temp on you just a little bit. So this will make a decent amount of Beurre Blanc, like an entire stick. I'm using a little bit less than a stick just because I want it to be a little bit more flavorful. You could do the same. You could use half a stick and it'd probably be fine. Yeah, this is it. Do people have pressure cookers? I don't know. Do you guys have pressure cookers? I'd love to know. Is this like a regular thing wherever you're at? Or are they like looked at as weird, you know, grandmother tools? Because for a while they used to be super common. You can cook beans this way, like all sorts of stuff.
I think bombers were them.
Yeah, or did they fall out of favor after the Sarnav brothers or whatever, and their terrible use of one on the Boston Marathon. Nope, no pressure cooker. Okay, Francesca, done. Nope. All right, 2 no's. Good. All right, 3 no's and a yes. All right, this is good. Go. I feel like Wolf Blitzer with like the CNN, you know, update about the presidential election behind me. And it's 3 no's and a yes. We have no's going to Wisconsin, Michigan, and Iowa. We have the yeses in Washington.
If you had to choose between a sous vide and a pressure cooker, what would you pick?
If I had, okay, so Mrs. Pinkshirtguy is putting me on the spot and said, if I had to choose between a sous vide setup and a pressure cooker, which would I choose? I would definitely go sous vide. Definitely go sous vide. And the why, because for my eating habits and our eating habits, this is more apt, like this is much more useful. We cook meats that are more, that I like cooking sous vide. Plus, you can actually sous vide vegetables. I wouldn't sous vide vegetables in a Ziploc bag. You have to use the heavy, like vacuum seal style bags. But you can sous vide vegetables and they're actually super good. Like potatoes, carrots, even, you could probably do artichokes too. I've never done that. But yeah, like potatoes and carrots I've done and they're really good. Like the potato or the carrots are super bright orange. They're crisp. You put a little bit of butter in there. They're like done perfectly. Oh, yeah. So yeah, gun to my head between the two, sous vide first. I don't know why the gun entered into it, but yeah, gun to my head. I'm going sous vide over pressure cooker. Andrew said, "Is this an impending divorce question?" Yes, it is. Which one do you want? Okay, this is Alexa. How much time do I have left on my timer?
You have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 40-minute timer.
Okay, so this will be done in 4 minutes, and this will be done in about 5.5 minutes. This is done. So we can keep this warm. This is actually just gonna be fine. I could strain this out. I might just strain it as I pour it over the dish. So if I were you, you could serve it just like this, but there's some peppercorns in there, so I might strain it out. Just use a small strainer. Let me get that ready, actually, now that I'm mentioning it to myself. Okay, this is what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna pour it over the dish. That should be good. Let's make sure temperature-wise. Okay, I'm gonna keep this just off the side on low to keep it warm. Oh, you've sous vide rhubarb for dessert once, says Smile or Will Die. That actually sounds a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. Are we sauteing ramps? I could in 5 minutes. Let's do it. We'll do some of them. That way, Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal and I can have some for breakfast too.
Well, you can saute all of them, and then if you have leftovers, you can do the ones for 6 months.
Good point. She said we could saute all of them and just eat the leftovers for breakfast. I like that idea. All right, so these are ramps. This is what they look like. These are, well, that one's a broken one. That's a busted looking ramp. This is a ramp. And they're super good. They're nice. They're garlicky. But not like in a friendly, approachable garlic way. Like not a, it's the kind of garlic that you could just eat raw. But it's a little, you know, I wouldn't eat this raw either. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do this like a cheap hack version way. We're gonna put a little oil in here over high heat and saute these real fast. But I need some oil. I'll use vegetable oil. I wish I had my olive oil thing refilled, but I didn't do it. Just a little bit. All right. Oh, that's not gonna be fast. That's all right. We're gonna do this anyway. Perfect. You go in there. Some of these are a little, I should have washed them all before. The things I do for you people. These are so, like these are, it's ramp season. They have a very narrow window. It's about, I think April and May, maybe a little bit into June, but not much. So I'm just cutting off the root ends. That's all I'm doing. If I were a perfectionist, I would probably pull off any sort of like, actually these are pretty good. Any sort of like these skins on the end, but I'm not actually noticing, they're kind of like green onions, you know, sometimes they get that little like extra layer of skin that's kind of sloughing off. These actually are pretty clean. Normally I would just chop the ends off with a knife and not use scissors, but you know, we're just gonna have fun with this and go as fast as we possibly can. Mostly for the challenge. Okay, good, clean. You're dirty. Go. All right, that's still cooking. Let's turn you back up. How are we looking? Pretty good. Yes, some of the leaves were burning because they were just hanging over the edge into the flame of the other burner. Alexa, stop. I love fire, says Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal. That's great. Okay, so I'm just gonna give these a quick saute. Oh, we need salt in there and in here. Oh, and there. I forgot salt in everything because I'm just a terrible cook today. Sometimes the leaves puff up like this. This is kind of fun. Oh no, I broke it. They puff up like little balloons. It's really kind of fun. Get up. Okay, salt. That's empty. Again, Anthony. All right. Sorry?
You want the thing?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you. Isn't Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal great? She just offered to get me more salt. Love her to death. All right, Beurre Blanc is looking nice. It's over low. This is good. I think everything's gonna come together perfectly. What was the last timer for? We had salmon. Oh, and the farro. Okay, good. God. All right, I think we're ready. I'm gonna let these saute for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and forcefully depressurize the farro. If you've never worked with a pressure cooker before, all that means is just run tepid water along the rim of it to kind of cool it down enough so that it lowers the pressure. That way you can open it. A whole bunch of steam will come out. It's super fun. So, hold on just a second. We'll get the salmon out as well. Oh, look at that. You can hear it. Done. All right, so there is a little bit of residual liquid left. That's to be expected because I added some more. I'm gonna just return that to the burner and let it kind of hang tight for a few minutes, and I'll just reduce that down basically. That's good. Let's get the plates ready. Okay, so with this salmon, oh my God, that looks really good. You can throw this in a pan to sear up the skin, or the skin you can actually just remove pretty easily on its own. I'm gonna opt for the latter just for simplicity's sake on this video. But I highly recommend searing it a little bit. It's so nice getting that crisp salmon skin on there. But we're not gonna do that this time, just because I kinda wanna get everything plated and done and ready to go. I'll let you sit in there for just a second. Don't overcook. You guys, let's see here. Let's stir you around. All right, a little flippy-do. This is what sauteed ramps look like. You want some nice color on them. You want to kind of blister the greens if you can. Part of the key is just don't touch it. Like, just let them sit in a little bit of oil, just nesting up against the side of the pan. That's good. You want them to, it's okay if you even smell it like just burning maybe a tiny, tiny little bit. Okay, so we'll plate you guys. There we go. We're not gonna have any leftovers for breakfast. This is Pink Shirt Guy. Okay. There's that. Just wash my pan, that's all I'm doing. I kind of like to get things out of the way as quickly as possible, and cleaning them and washing them is one of those ways. Okay, that's good. Turn the heat up on the Beurre Blanc. You are nice and reduced. Good. This Farro, nice, it's puffing up great. I'm just gonna continue reducing a little bit of that liquid. That's, I could, you know what, let's just taste it. I think we might be ready to go. Oh, it needs salt. Good. Stir you around. Okay, and we are now reduced, I think, to a point. I don't know if you can see this very well. So I didn't make much. This is one of those things you can actually make a lot of if you want to. Because it'll keep in the fridge for several days, and you can just hang out, eat it for, you know, add it to breakfast, add it to whatever you want. I'm just fitting for things you can add it to, but. So I'm gonna create a nice little bed of farro. Almost. Has anybody ever cooked with farro before? Do you guys like this? Two different questions, I realize that. Okay, that's good. Get you out of the way. And let's get our salmon taken care of. I'm gonna grab, let's do this. You love Farro. Okay, good. Good to know someone loves Farro out there. There we go. I just kind of like letting it rest. Oops. Oh no, Anthony, don't do that. Don't harm any sort of salmon in this. That'll end up being mine. Oh, so good. Oh my God. Oh man. That is so tasty. Okay, this is exactly where I want it. It's not overcooked. It just tastes so silky smooth. I'm gonna dry off a little bit of the oil. You don't have to. I just think it kind of, it'll look a little bit nicer. And then plus we can replace a lot of that fat with the Beurre Blanc. The Beurre Blanc. I don't speak French. Good. All right, so here's gonna be the fun part. I am going to pull this skin off, which I know a lot of people will like freak out about. But for this dish, I don't want the added work of frying the skin. You can, it's very easy, just throw it in a pan. But I kind of want to get dinner on the table because I'm starving and this looks so good. So I'm going to peel this off. Just like that. You know, you could save this. Actually, my dog loves salmon skin. Because the last time I did this, I did the same thing for one of them. And she got a very nice treat for that. Okay, and our Beurre Blanc is nice and still emulsified. This is great. Some on my face, it's always nice. All right, let's get these guys going. Can you see these? All right, let's move them. I know, why would I ever remove the skin? Well, I think it's a little bit easier to eat when it's not, this is like, it's a little bit more difficult to cut into. This way we can just fork it. I'm not gonna let this go to waste, believe me. Believe me. I'm just spooning this through a strainer, just like that. Yeah, again, a few minutes in just skin side down in like a dry pan, that skin tightens up perfectly. You can crisp it up, it's so good. I kind of just wanted to get this out there. And believe me, that's not going to waste. You can actually fry it separately. If you've never done that, try it, it's worth it. There we go. Cilantro, lime, Beurre Blanc. Did I add salt to this? Hopefully I did. If not, we can add some later. Okay, good. Let's make sure both of us have enough. All right. Let's break into this this dish here. This will actually, I'm gonna break into this one. Oh my God. And this is so delicious. Okay, look, the salmon, can you see it? It's, believe me, the salmon is cooked perfectly. Like it's not overdone at all. It breaks off with just a fork. The cilantro lime flavors are coming through. Got a nice little Farro, toasted Farro base underneath it. Holy smokes. And let me get a ramp in here. This is the fun, like this is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to eat ramps is just simply sauteed. Although pickled in a martini actually works nice too. Oh. It's so good. You get a nice, still a little bit of crisp in the white part, like in the base, the bulb, and it tastes garlicky, but then the green part, the leaf, also tastes garlicky, and that's like smooth, leafy, sauteed greens. It's so good. Oh my God. Okay, so this is it. And that Beurre Blanc, a nice mellow acid flavor coming in to kind of tie everything together. You have to make this. Okay, Kristen, I'll get this up this weekend on the website. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really, I'm so glad each and every one of you are here. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already a member, because I personally, I take it very personally, whether you're subscribed or not. Okay, I'm not gonna dilly-dally. I'm gonna go take a picture of this, get dinner on the table. Happy Wednesday. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. I can't remember what I'm cooking tomorrow. I had it like on one of the screens in front of me, but I totally forgot. That's okay. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Same show, same guy, same you. All right. Oh, let's get the outro song. All right, you guys enjoy, have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm gonna go enjoy this. If you cook this, let me know how it goes. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm all over there. Send a picture of it. I'd love to see how it turns out for you. I can repost it, my stories and stuff, and would love to see what it looks like. Okay, yo, yeah, mushroom something. Thanks for reminding me, Francesca. Yes, tomorrow is mushroom something. I can't remember what it is, but I do have a whole bunch of mushrooms I gotta use out. Okay, adios, bye.